welcome to this edition of the Native News Update on this Thursday, December 30th. I'm your host for today's program, Paul DeMain. Many of the stories and information right here can also be found at our website at IndianCountryNews.com, and here are some of the news stories and pieces of information from the Associated Press and other Native news sources. The impact made by Wilma Mankiller as one of the nation's most visible American Indian leaders was evident upon her passing, as two current or former U.S. presidents publicly weighed in on the former Cherokee Nation's chief legacy as we begin closing out what happened in the year 2010. In Native circles, few names were as big as that of Mankiller, who passed away April 6 at age 64 after suffering from pancreatic cancer. She served from 1985 to 1995 as the Cherokee's first female chief, taking tribal issues to the White House and teaching the lesson that our lives and future are for us to decide. The current Cherokee chief, Chad Smith, said. During her tenure, Mankiller helped triple the Tahlequah-based tribe's enrollment, doubled employment, and focused on building new health centers and children's programs for the tribe. Former President Bill Clinton presented Mankiller with the Presidential Medal of Freedom, the nation's highest civilian award, in 1998, and noted upon her passing how she worked to create jobs, break down social and economic barriers, improve access to health care, and address the roots of both rural and urban poverty, while leading the Cherokees with dignity and grace. President Barack Obama said Mankiller was recognized for her vision and commitment to the highest and brightest future for all Americans. Groups have turned excess elk at Theodore Roosevelt National Park this year into steaks, roast, and elk burgers for North Dakota's poor. An effort led by Sportsmen Against Hunger has delivered almost 3,000 pounds of elk meat to state food pantries, and according to the park, nearly 12,000 pounds of elk meat have gone to American Indian reservations as well. Since October, 5 teams of 4 volunteers led by park staff have combed the park to reduce the elk population, which has passed what park officials consider a manageable size. So far, the volunteers have shot and harvested 268 elk with an overall goal of 275 by next month. And we're going to take a look at what's going on tomorrow evening on December 31st and thereabouts as we end the year out. There's lots of things to do. We're going to start, first of all, with a tomorrow New Year's Eve bash. And we're going to go down here at the location is Hollywood Alley in Mesa, Arizona. That's 2610 W Baseline Road. I think that's being put on by Clandestine, the New Year's Eve celebration. We want to remind people that the Haskell New Year's Eve's Sobriety Pow-wow has been canceled. That was going to be in Lawrence, Kansas. So if you're headed down there toward Haskell University, don't go there because that powwow has been canceled. They're all going somewhere else. The 2010 Sobriety Powwow and Feast honoring traditional Menominee social dances in Kashina, Wisconsin will be held tomorrow evening, and that actually starts at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. They break at around 5:30 for a dinner break with a hand drum contest there and come back for a 7 o'clock grand entry as well, going up until 12 midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning. That program will be live streamed starting around 1 o'clock tomorrow morning at IndianCountryTV.com, along with the LCO New Year's Eve Powwow that's being held at the Lacutre Ojibwe School, and people know how to get there. Near Hayward, Wisconsin. That's going to start with a 5 o'clock feast, and at 7 o'clock a grand entry, and that as well will be live streamed in part. We're going to be going back and forth between the Menominee Powwow and the LCO Powwow, and show your relatives up and wave at them and call them on the cell phone and say hi. Now, at both of those dances, the Menominees and LCO, they're having all kinds of specials: potato dance, fish dance, swan dance, feather dances, spin around dances, all those kinds of specials, and they're going to be featured throughout the events. So those are 2 events nearby. Another one here in the Great Lakes area is the 2010 New Year's Eve Sobriety Powwow at the Wisconsin State Fairgrounds. The First People, Many Nations Powwow on Friday, December 31st, starting at 7 p.m. Doors will open at 5. That's a potluck feast at 9 p.m., and that's sponsored by the Forest County Potawatomi. That's at 640 South 84th Street, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, the same place as the Midwinter Powwow. So there's another one in the Wisconsin area. Minneapolis Red Road New Year's Eve Sobriety Powwow coming up, starting at 7 o'clock. Let's see, and I believe that's Saturday at 10 p.m. as well, it says here. 7 p.m. until Saturday at 7. That's a two-day powwow, Minneapolis American Indian Center on Franklin Avenue in Minneapolis, Minnesota. So that's both the 31st and 1st if you're in the Great Lakes area. Also here there are a social gathering in downtown Oneida, and some people are going over to Crandon for a powwow that's being held over there somewhere. I didn't get the details on that. Here's another one called the Calabito New Year's Eve Contest Powwow, and that's going to be held in Calabito, Arizona. And the contact there is a woman named Linda, and if you're down in that area, that's both on the 30th and 31st. That actually started today, goes through tomorrow. So if you know where people gather down in Arizona there's people gathering there today. AIA New Year's Eve Powwow, and that's going to be at 1279 Sunnyvale, Saratoga Road in Sunnyvale, California. And that's a powwow that doesn't say when it starts. It's going to be at the Fremont High School gym over there. So head over there. That's going to be, it looks like an evening or all-day powwow tomorrow. Also on the list of places to go is Sault Ste. Marie Tribe Sobriety Powwow. That's going to be tomorrow evening, December 31st at 2 Ice Circle in Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan. And just seeing if that says when it starts, but head over there. If you're in that area, December 31st, Fort Peck Celebration Powwow and Feed. You're going to get fed over there, and that's a good reason. Commodity cheese and some Spam at 601 Court Avenue in Poplar, Montana. So if you're in the Montana area, you can head over there. That's a, looks like an evening powwow. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, they got a chicken dance going on. All right. That's a good one, feature. Here's another one, VHS Second Annual New Year's Eve Sobriety Powwow. That's coming up at off of I-40 and Highway 191 in Sanders, Arizona. So there is two powwows down there. That looks like an evening powwow too. All profits of this from this event will support their club for expenses for a close-up Washington, D.C. trip. So it's a fundraiser. Gourd Drum Southern Outlaws and lots of other people over there. That's Arizona again. 7th Annual New Year's Eve Powwow at the address 120 West, 1300 South, Salt Lake City, Utah. Oh, okay, grand entry 6 p.m. Sound system will be provided, no outside systems. It's the funniest powwow in Utah. That's in Salt Lake City tomorrow evening. Let's go over to Martinsville, Indiana for their annual sobriety powwow. That's at Hospital Drive. I don't know if that's because, no, I won't say that. Hospital Drive, Martinsville, Indiana. Doesn't say when it begins, but most of these powwows are beginning in the evening after the hard work day, December 31st, over at the Klamath Tribes Sobriety Powwow. That's going to be at 3531 South 6th Street in Klamath Falls, Oregon. And they got some grass and jingle dress specials going on tomorrow evening, and have lots of fun there. 10th Annual New Year's Eve Sobriety Powwow, and this one's going to be held at the 100 Civic Center, downtown Tulsa, Oklahoma. And that is a contest powwow tomorrow, one day, one evening. Doesn't say when it begins, but anyone who's on the contest circuit's got their eye on that. There's people headed that way already as well. I can just feel it. Reno Sparks Colony Sobriety Powwow. That's coming up on December 31st and January 1st at 34 Reservation Rd, Reno, Nevada. So if you aren't out gambling, head over to that powwow. It says, "We're going green this year. Bring your water bottle, not your bottled water." Grand entry at 6 p.m. And another one that runs 2 days, December 31st and January 1st. It may be that they run into the morning. It may be that they run the next day. Once you get there, you'll have to find out. That's at the American Indian Center, 4801 Southside Drive, Louisville, Kentucky. Head over there right away. December 31st to January 2nd, going through Sunday in Albany, New York. Crowne Plaza Hotel, Albany City Center, 40 Lodge Street. Albany City Center, 40 Lodge Street. It doesn't say when that's going to begin exactly either, but that's a 3-dayer, so Friday evening, Saturday, and Sunday. See you there, December 31st to January 2nd in Nisqually, Washington. Nisqually New Year's Eve Pow-wow. And it is a contest power, at least they have some contest according to the information here that I can't read up on that board, but we'll work at it. And one coming up on January 1st. So if you don't have anything to do after staying up all night, you can head right down to Lawton, Oklahoma at the Comanche Nation Complex for the Honor P.W. Nina Burgess 2010 Comanche PRIN. But it is a powwow. It is a contest powwow. They just want to celebrate Nina's reign as Comanche Nation Princess. So it's some kind of an honor. New Year's honoring dance and powwow, maybe put on by a family down there, but they know how to powwow down there in Oklahoma like mad, and they gourd dance for hours. So lots of safe places to go tomorrow night, and that is the latest roundup of news from Indian Country on this edition of the Native News Update. I will see you next year. Come back again. Thank you for joining me for almost 365 days.